I'm sorry. French bread is so good. Like the bakeries there, top notch. The cheese, I'm a soft cheese gal. I'm a blue cheese gal. Like all of the cheeses you're essentially not supposed to have if you're pregnant. I'm a big fan of those cheeses. Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Kat.
I'm Chris.
And this is episode number 176. How's the outside world, Christopher?
It is wonderful.
Oh, gosh.
The
Being
fresh
sick
air.
in the summer is the worst.
You know, I was thinking about this. I don't think I've ever been sick in the summer. Not that I can recall.
Until now.
Maybe, perhaps lovesick.
Oh, stop. I think I was sick when we came home from Peru. I caught a cold in Peru in 2019.
Oh, well.
And then was sick for a week or maybe a few days. No, I'm recovering. I actually feel normal. I feel completely normal other than the fact that I have a tiny bit of drainage and a bit of a cough still.
You also, open up your mouth.
What?
There's a frog in your throat.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, I'm kind of losing my voice. But I feel fine, which is good. It's a vast improvement than the weekend. I still tested positive this morning because I gave myself a test just to see. Because I was
why you did that.
Well, I was I feel a lot better. Maybe I'm okay now. And it turns out I'm still positive. So I am hanging out and not leaving the house.
I'm negative now.
I know. And you get to go in the world again, and I'm bored to tears at home. But I'm thankful that it's a mild case and that I feel good. And I'm hopeful that by the end of the week, I can test out of, be done with all of this and test negative. So that's the goal.
It is.
But anyway, any updates on your end?
I have a fairly significant update.
What's
on
that?
my end. I ordered a safari hat. Pretty pumped for this. Pretty pumped for this. It is supposed to arrive tomorrow. Yeah. I had one last time that we went on safari, and unfortunately it was a little small. So I really wanted one, and I was looking at a nice wide brimmed hat. Like John Dutton-esque.
Oh my gosh.
And they recommend a wide brimmed hat because of any number of things that could fall from the trees, like insects, spiders.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It will also help protect me from the sun. Functional benefit. I will also look just awesome. So
I'm not a hat person. My head is too small to make hats look decent on me. They always look ridiculous. And I know I'm going to have to wear one.
You're gonna have
I don't
to
want
get...
spiders. I have a horrible, scarring, traumatic moment from my childhood where I was hiking at Girl Scout camp in the woods, accidentally walked through a gigantic spider web, and the most ginormous spider I had ever seen fell in my hair and was in my scalp for a couple of seconds before I finally got it out of my hair and it smacked on the ground and scurried away. It left a dent in the earth when it smacked. No, I'm just kidding.
You are not a friend to wild.
It was a gigantic spider, and I am terrified of bugs in my hair ever since then.
Oh man. And then there's me who will catch the insects that get into our home and open the window and release them outside.
I think the spider lived. I don't think it had any issues whatsoever. It was like a cat. It landed on its feet and just kept going.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some gnarly insect encounters and spider encounters.
Why would you tell me this? I would almost rather not know and then just be hiking and be told this is what I have to do. I'm already deathly afraid of ticks.
You also are do you remember when we were in the Amazon and you walked through a spider web and you freaked out, and our guide and everyone turned around and they were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like,
Again, the traumatic Girl Scout
Yeah.
camp memory came flooding back.
I'm just standing there and I'm like, "Welcome to my life, Juan Carlos.
Okay.
This is what I deal with on a daily basis." Yeah, you're gonna want to get a nice hat.
Yeah. I'll have to get one of those hats that you've seen on they're on TikTok where they're the massive hats that are like
Don't do that.
the huge sun hats.
Get a Beth Dutton hat.
No. I look terrible at hats.
I'm not
So
gonna
I'm just
say,
going to get the most functional hat and get it over with because it's going to look ridiculous on me because I have the head of a child size. It's just
You do have a tiny head.
I have a tiny head. And it just looks weird when I wear hats. It doesn't look normal. There's even certain sunglasses that just look strange. I could never pull off the giant sunglasses look. It takes up my whole face.
Goodness.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, get a hat. Do you have a highlight from the past 48 hours?
Yeah, of having COVID. I mean, my highlight is I feel better, which is
Good.
great. And we rebooked all of our France trip. We're leaving in late September, so we're still getting to go, which is exciting.
Yay.
And it'll be less crowded then, and the weather won't be this crazy heat wave right now. So all, knock on wood, all things to look forward to. As bummed as I am that, we didn't get to go to France right now. At least, I'm very thankful that we were able to rebook it. That's not always a luxury. I mean, we even have trips we canceled in 2020, rebooked RIP, our Scotland trip that we had rebooked on multiple occasions through multiple years and just never got to go on.
R.I.P. Colombia trip.
Yeah, that trip. We don't know.
R.I.P. Aruba trip.
Yeah, that was kind of like a thrown together, we'll see if it happens trip, though, in 2020. Newsflash, it did not. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm very thankful to be able to rebook it. And my sister's going to come up and visit me anyway for a few days.
That'll
when
be
we're
nice.
supposed to be in France. I'm thinking about doing a whole French theme while she's here.
Oh, for goodness
Go to
sake.
brunch at Le Petit, maybe make some fondue.
You could make your croissants.
Oh my gosh, that would be a whole endeavor. It's too hot outside.
No, that would really mean
that's a
lot.
good winter thing to make because it's cold, so you don't have to worry about the butter getting hot versus in the summertime, it's too warm.
We can put the AC down. That would really mean a lot to us.
Still, no, it's not good. Yeah, of course, that is an endeavor. That takes so long to make.
No, I know, but it would really
I'm not
mean-
going to.
What about
You could make your
palmiers?
shoe buns.
What about palmiers? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
What about palmiers?
No, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's about it. Why don't we talk about what we're going to be talking about today?
Well, speaking of your upcoming trip to France,
Yeah.
trips to France, today we are chatting all about Italy versus France. So,
Which should you visit?
Which should you visit, right? Maybe you're deciding between the two of them. So we have a few categories, and we each came up with our own responses, and we're just going to chat about it, debate about it, and hopefully come to a consensus. If you are deciding between Italy and France, how to make your decision. These 6 categories are, and these are rather official: food, drinks, geography/natural beauty. I feel like this is like an SNL skit of Celebrity Jeopardy. The 4th category is beaches. The 5th is potent potables. Cities, and then cultural attractions.
Yeah.
So there's 6 categories. And yeah, we'll hash it out here.
Now, obviously, this is subjective, so take it with a grain of salt. This is just based on our opinions of traveling to Italy and France and our knowledge of these countries. So obviously, this is not the end-all, be-all supposed resource, but we're hoping that this can kind of help you decide from 2 other travelers which one to go to that we think is worth visiting. I mean, they both are, but this is tough. There are many categories where I'm like, oh, crap, this is tough.
I'm going to have to differ with you on this. First of all, this is a one-stop shop for this debate.
No, okay.
with our apologies to other travelers and publications that have delved into this topic, this is all you need. Let's kick it off with that.
All right. I don't know. I feel like, should we say what we think the others is going to be, or just wait until the end for that?
No, we'll say 1, 2, 3.
Oh, for each category.
Yeah,
okay.
for each category.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
we're going to start with food. 1,
This
2.
is really tough. Hang on. Okay.
Are you backing out on your
I'm
answer?
like still trying to decide. Okay.
Trying
All
to
right.
decide. 1, 2, 3.
Italy.
Easily.
This was
is
tough.
not even close.
It's so tough.
Not even close.
It's so tough.
Not even close.
I think very, very tough.
Are you out of your mind?
I think France has it on lock when it comes to bread and cheese. Like, no questions asked.
Hold on.
Like, I'm sorry. French bread is so good. Like, the bakeries there, top notch. The cheese, I'm a soft cheese gal. I'm a blue cheese gal. Like, all of the cheeses you're essentially not supposed to have if you're pregnant. I'm a big fan of those cheeses. And I gotta say, France does a good soft cheese perfectly well. They do that stinky, pungent, creamy, delicious cheese, and I'm here for it. And honestly, I think those are the best cheeses.
Okay.
Dijon mustard.
Hold on.
And they're like roast chicken, duck confit, escargot, all of the pastries. I mean, it's hard. Butter, just butter, period. Even though Corsica's in the south of France is a little bit more olive oily, the rest of France is more butter. I don't know. There's a lot going on. It also helps that, like, there's a lot of different influences along each of the borders of France too that play. So there's a lot of, like, variety and deliciousness across France. But I will say
Hold on. Is your answer France or Italy?
No, I'm just giving like a why this is so tough, because Italy, of course, you have like your pizza and your pasta and your, the different the prosciuttos, and you also have delicious cheeses there as well, and the olive oil and the balsamic, and it's tough. But I think pasta's probably going to win out for me.
I don't think it's that tough. I mean, I will agree with you that if I had to choose between just breads, that I would go with France.
Yeah. Or cheese.
I would not go cheese.
But you like more Italian cheese.
I am so first of all, I think you need a t-shirt that just says, I'm a soft cheese gal.
I'm a soft... New merch, guys, coming your way. I'm a soft cheese gal.
I'm a soft cheese gal. I am a huge Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino, mozzarella, burrata, all that kind of stuff.
See, I am a brie, camembert, Roquefort.
Also known as Roquefort.
Neuchâtel.
Okay. Not a pepper jack gal.
Look, I like cheese.
I love
There's
pepper
few
jack.
cheese I don't like. Even French cheese, there's few cheeses that I don't like. But I gotta say that in the cheese category, France has it for me. But we're talking about overall food, and I'm gonna go with
It's Italy.
the combination of
Pasta.
all of the carbs, but they also have the great meats.
Yeah.
And they also have very good desserts. They have gelato and cannolis and tiramisu and, all the hazelnut type things. And just, it's very delicious. So
this one was not difficult for me.
yeah, I'm going to go Italy. This is tough.
This is not tough. I mean, think about it, Catherine.
But I've also been to more places in France than you have. So I've tasted a lot of the variety of France. And I've been to more places in Italy than you have.
Yeah, I know. But let's think about it this way. When we are thinking of what to cook at home, or when you're like, oh, hey, what are you guys feeling? Is it more, oh man, I could really go for pasta, or perhaps duck confit tonight?
Well, that's because pasta is easier to make.
No, I think.
But also, I'm a soft cheese and soup gal, and I do say that France has great soups.
Yeah, France has good soups.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. But so we are in agreement that Italy has better food between the two.
Yes.
If you are traveling to eat, you should go to Italy.
Yeah, both are great. But if you have to choose, Italy.
Awesome. All right, so let's move on to drinks. 1, 2, 3.
France.
Italy. Okay.
I knew we were going to differ on this.
Yeah. This one was closer for me. I was thinking more of like starting my day. And that's where it gets really close for me, right? Because a nice French press or...
I mean, that's not the only way to have coffee in France.
No, I understand. But I am also thinking of quite possibly the best beverage that I have ever had in my life, Les Domego hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That inches it up closer. So that is great. And then like in the evening... I mean, French wine, obviously, does not have to really... I mean, its reputation precedes it. Mm-hmm. It has some of my absolute favorite wine in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. They have champagne. Yeah, like they have some killer beverages there. But I was also thinking of our time in Italy, like starting off the day with an espresso. Perhaps having another one at the bar throughout the day. Rolling into aperitivo. Choo-choo, the Negroni train.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was thinking, well, like what about like a beer? I'm a big Peroni guy.
Over Kronenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, Kronenberg is like so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's also very like German influenced too.
It is, yeah.
Because it's from the Alsace.
And then if I had to choose Italian or French wine, I think that I would more often default to Italian wine over French wine.
Wow. Okay.
So I said that this one was closer for me, but I went with Italy here.
And you'd be wrong. I think they are very comparable, especially when it comes to morning drinks. They both do hot chocolate really well. They both have great coffee. But yeah, Les Domego's hot chocolate. I mean, Paris's hot chocolate, France's hot chocolate. Oh, I absolutely love it. Beer, honestly, if it's gonna, I mean, these are not huge beer countries compared to,
right.
you know, Germany and Belgium and even the UK and things like that. But I'll take a Kronenberg over a Peroni any day. It's most refreshing.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
also cider, which is really cool because when you get into Normandy and Brittany, you have cider. There's even the cider route in Normandy, which is something you don't really see a lot of in Italy. I also like Lillet. And also, this is really cool. I love that, and maybe they do this in Italy or not. I'm not really sure. But I know in France that you can buy little syrups to put in either milk or water. So you can either get like mint or almond or cassis or something like that. You can put like drops of to like flavor your water, and it's really delicious. And then also, I'm a big fan of French wine. It's all my favorites. If I want a Sauvignon Blanc, if it's not New Zealand, it's going to be Sancerre. It's going to be from Loire. I love Pinot Noir. That is my favorite grape in the world. Burgundian Pinot Noirs are really delicious.
Well, there's the understatement of the century.
Yeah.
I don't mind having them.
Oh, no, I love them. I really, really enjoy Pinot Noir. I enjoy pretty much most French wine, which is very, very good. I'm
a soft cheese and French wine gal.
Pretty much. I mean, that is my personality. Now, as much as I do love a good spritz, a good Aperol spritz, I like the aperitivos that you can get in Italy, the Negronis and all the different things you can have. Their wine is growing on me. I'm not a fan of all Italian wine. I think Prosecco can be too sweet sometimes. Moscato, very sweet, not my thing. And there's a lot of wines just in Italy that just aren't really my jam, but I liked Nebbiolo, I liked Barolo and Barbaresco. The Piedmont area, I liked that wine, but yeah, I think if we're going to have a preference, for me at least, it's definitely going to be France for both the alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. You got to try that syrup and water. It's very tasty, very refreshing, like summertime drink.
I'm not sold.
They're like flavored syrups that you can put in your water.
I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy it.
Yeah, and the hot chocolate. And then the wine.
Okay.
So, et cetera, et cetera.
So we're split on this one.
Yeah.
But like I said, this one was closer for me. Moving on to Geography and natural beauty. 1, 2, 3. France.
Yeah. It helps France that it's a bigger country. It's more widespread. Italy is a peninsula, so it definitely has its islands and everything, but it's a more coastal because it's long and skinny, but mostly surrounded by water. So I think that Italy definitely does have its diversity and natural beauty and landscapes. I mean, you certainly have the
100%.
Dolomites up north and the mountains, and then you get to the lake regions, and then you have the rolling hills and the vineyards. I mean, Tuscany is absolutely stunning. All of the countryside is beautiful, and then you get to the coastal areas, which are very, very beautiful. So
Sicily.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the islands are gorgeous, very lovely. But I do think that France kind of has it beat just for, you've got the Alps and the Pyrenees, so some big mountain areas. You've got the beaches both in the north and the south because you have the Pacific coast beaches in northern France and then you have the Mediterranean in the south. Lots of beautiful valleys and wine growing regions, which are always very beautiful and hilly. The Loire Valley and their chateaus. The provincial hillside towns with all their beauty and charm. And I just like the overall diversity, I think, in the French landscape. And I think it's because even as you get towards different borders, there's a lot of even architecture and like things that are going to be different. Like if you get closer to Normandy and Brittany, you're going to get more weather and even the architecture is going to resemble more of that of the UK. You get to close to the German border in Alsace, you're going to get those half-timbered houses and more of that German influence. You get closer to the Spanish border, you're going to get more Spanish influence. You get close to the Italian border, you're going to get some Italian influence. Not to say that Italy doesn't have that, because it certainly borders a lot of other countries as well, but there's just such a small piece of Italy that does compared to France that I just don't think you get that much overlap in the geography and even like just the beauty with the architecture and everything.
That's fair. And this one, admittedly, I think that I have seen more of the geography of France just from like the train rides that we took. We went into the Loire Valley, which was very nice. Mm-hmm. We stayed a bit more city or village centric, even with our activities that we did in Italy. So I really didn't get to see a whole bunch of the geography or natural beauty of Italy, but for the train rides and the surrounding areas of Barolo and Barbaresco. But like, I mean, we did not touch Sicily, the Amalfi Coast, Cinque Terre, like a lot of the natural beauty of Italy. Unfortunately, we just did not.
And I've seen a bit of that as well. I mean, you obviously have like the canals of Venice, and you also have the beautiful coastlines all around. So I'm not saying that Italy doesn't have its fair share of natural beauty. Of course it does in geography, but I just think that there's a lot more diversity in France, and that also is because it's a bigger country. Yeah. I mean, it's a larger landmass. It takes a huge chunk of Europe. Like there's going to be more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 is beaches. And this is going to be tough because I have not been to beaches in either France or Italy. My initial hunch is Italy.
Okay.
Just from, like, Amalfi Coast, south of Italy. But I also know that, I mean, the south of France is very, very well known for its beaches. Mm-hmm. You also mentioned beaches in the north. Have you been to beaches in both countries?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we have a bit of an expert.
Okay. I haven't been to all of their beaches.
Like I said, my initial hunch is Italy, but what do you think?
I mean, Italy. I would say Italy does. I mean, France, the south of France is absolutely lovely. There are a lot, I mean, if we're going to do beaches in Europe, Greece. But like that's going to be the soft, sandy, lovely, delightful beaches that you want. And France has sandy beaches, but I feel like a lot of the beaches in the south of France, especially the popular ones, are very pebbly. But Italy has very pebbly beaches too. So I guess it's hard. It's hard.
Very what?
Pebbly beaches, like they're pebbles.
Oh, I thought you said
it's
very,
not.
I thought you said pedaling.
No, like they're pebble beaches.
Pebbled beaches.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not the soft sandy beaches that you think of. Now the northern part of France, there are more sandy beaches.
Okay.
So in like Normandy and stuff like that, but then you have the weather, which isn't always the best. Now in the summertime it's better, but in the south of France you can pretty much visit from like April through October and have pretty decent weather. Now, maybe not always swimming weather, but pretty good weather for, hanging out on the beach and stuff versus like northern France. It'll be a bit colder and rainier.
And if it doesn't just scream beach vacation, that it's a little too cold to go in the water, but, you can sit on the sand.
Well, I mean, California.
Oh, please. You're going in the water.
It's cold. The water's cold.
Wear a suit.
Okay. Anyway, I would say Italy, though. I mean, my goodness, it's a peninsula. It has
That's what I was thinking
multiple
too.
islands. France does have Corsica, but I would say that Italy, for sure, with the islands and it being a peninsula, and there are very different like beach towns all over the country. You can get, the Amalfi Coast and Cinque Terre are very famous. They're very popular, but there's also lots of beautiful places like in Puglia or just even in Tuscany, like in that region, like near Florence. There are beaches not too far that you can head to.
Fair enough.
In the Tuscany region of Italy, that isn't like the Cinque Terre or like that sort of thing.
Okay.
So there's lots of off the beaten path places to go to for Italy for beaches and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be some sandy, some pebble. Overall, I think they both have great beaches, but I would say Italy has it beat. Just, it is a peninsula. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. The next category is potent potables.
Okay.
Cities is up next. This one was fairly easy for me.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. France.
Yay! I thought you were going to pick Italy.
France has Paris, and that is my favorite city in the world.
Oh, okay. And that's just period for you.
Done.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about it a little bit more.
I mean, I will too, but like
yeah,
that. Like,
you're like, all right, moving on.
And category 6.
Italy, I think, has more famous cities. Like you have Paris and France, but I think most people, if they're going to go to France, a lot of the time it's just Paris or the south of France, versus people going to Italy. Their most visited city is between like not Venice. It's Florence or Rome for the most part. But then you also have Venice and Milan and Naples and stuff like that. That like those are very crowded cities because they're very popular to go to. Versus I think France, a lot of people sleep on things other than Nice and Paris. You've got Dijon, Marseille, Lyon, Bordeaux. Annecy?
Isn't that how you say it?
Annecy? Yeah. But there's like lots of smaller cities, but they're just not as heavily foot trafficked by tourists like they are in Italy. So for me, that's a positive because it's less people to contend with for things. Now, Paris is crazy, but so is Rome and a lot of other cities. But once you get outside of Paris and outside of Nice, it's really not too bad visiting other cities. I went to Dijon in September. Absolutely lovely. Not crowded at all. Totally fine. And that's a pretty good sized city in France. So it just depends, but I like the smaller cities where it's not as crowded. And I definitely think that France has more of those famous cities that aren't as crazy, like crowded versus Italy, where their big cities are definitely very crowded and
oh my gosh, yes,
and touristy. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this as well, just because you are far more well traveled in France, and Italy than I am, but something I really enjoyed about Italy was how different Milan was from Alba, from Bologna, from Modena, from Rome. Do you experience a lot of the differences between like Nice and Annecy and Dijon and Paris and all of that kind of stuff? Like, are the differences as stark as they were?
Oh, yeah.
amongst the Italian cities?
Well, Annecy is pretty small, so it's not going to be like Paris at all. But it's a mountain town or mountain city, but like Nice is completely different from Paris.
Okay.
Paris is more that chic. It's like the businessy part, but you've got Paris, and it's just more busy and chaotic. And Nice is a bigger city, and it can be chaotic too at times, but you also have the south of France, and it's sunny and it's beachy and all of that stuff. And even the architecture is different. It's more colorful. Like, it's just like in Italy where things are more colorful the more south you get.
Yes.
Like the buildings and even the clothing choices and stuff like that. People tend to wear a little bit more color. Oh, yeah, Lyon is very different than Dijon and like things like that. So you're going to get that variety in cities, different wines, drinks, foods, based on where you're going to be at in France as well, which I imagine Italy is very similar.
Oh, yeah. And that was my assumption. I wanted to...
Italy is similar in that regard, where it's where they differ between cities with culture, cuisine, etc. But yeah. Cool. But I would say France, because it's just not as chaotic to travel to those cities versus the cities of Italy.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. The final category is cultural attractions. 1, 2, 3.
France.
Italy. Okay. So let me say why I chose Italy.
Okay.
Now we're not counting food, drink, anything like that, right? For me, it was thinking about what sort of things are people going to these countries for, right? And if you're going to go to Italy, you're probably going to go to Rome. You're going to see the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, the Pantheon, whether it's like the Spanish Steps or the Trevi Fountain and like those sorts of things, right? You also have all of the different piazzas all around the country. You have the canals in Venice. You have Cinque Terre. There are a lot of Pompeii. There are a lot of cultural attractions in Italy that are not necessarily focused around food, drink, any sort of like, I guess, natural beauty. So I was like, man, like there are, and I know that Vatican City is its own separate country, but then you have Vatican City, right, as well. Yeah. Just outside of Rome. So I was like, man.
Which, fun fact, the city of Avignon used to be part of like the papal, like used to be owned by the popes.
Oh, really?
For like several years or whatever. Well, actually, the Pope's palace is in Avignon, and it is where, I think it was in the 1400s.
Okay.
Where the popes lived, because they left Rome and the Vatican because of civil unrest, and they moved to France, and then they moved back eventually, but they actually owned that part of France for a long time.
Fair enough.
So there's a little tie-in there, even with the Vatican in France.
There you go. What made you choose France here?
I think it depends on the type of cultural attractions that you're looking for.
Okay.
So I think you're definitely doing history, which I would say France certainly has its fair share of history.
Sure.
And I get what you're saying, where like the canals of Venice and all of that stuff. So that makes a lot of sense. I guess maybe I'm also a little bit biased because I have a travel blog about France that's like, yes, there's Paris. Definitely visit Paris. It's amazing. But France has all of this beautiful landscape diversity, culture, history, all of these things that you can go do that I think a lot of people don't think about versus just going to Paris or just completely bypassing France in favor of other countries.
Okay.
Well, you have the alignments of Carnac in northern France that's 3,000 plus years old. Kind of like Stonehenge. It's similar to that. There's stone formations. Now they're not built with like the rocks with the rock on top, but there's a lot of it and it takes up a lot of space. There's the Lasco Caves where you have the cave paintings. You can't actually go inside the caves, but there is a one because of preservation and stuff, but they do have a cave that is mimicking that you can go do that.
So you're going to base this off of a fake cave that you can
No, I'm not just but I also think that Italy and France are both known for art. So if you're an art history person, Italy, I think it thrived in the Renaissance. So if you're a big Renaissance art person, I think their art scene thrived. I think that when most people think of Italian art, it's going to be the Renaissance.
Wow, the whole country thrived in the Renaissance, and they've just slowly
No, I meant like the art
crawling
scene.
to survive ever since.
When people, that is not what I'm saying. I think,
Canceled.
Oh, stop. I think when people think of Italian art, they typically think of Renaissance. All right, the Italian masters, Florence, the peak of the Renaissance, all of that. When you think of French art, you think of the Impressionists, the Post-Impressionists. You think of the romantic-looking art. You think of the Monet and Degas and all of that beautiful stuff too. I mean, not that it's modern, because it's definitely not modern art, but I guess more modern than the Renaissance. So I think that if you're more interested in that type of art, you're going to like Paris and France more, because that's everywhere. All the famous painters from that time period, the Monet, the Matisse, the Degas, the Van Gogh, lived all over France and got lots of inspiration that you can go to museums dedicated to them, or just museums with their art all over the country. Versus in Italy, if you're a big fan of Renaissance and the Renaissance artists, then you're going to go to Italy and want to see and study that. So very different things. It depends on the type of art that you like. I personally am a big fan of Impressionism, Post-Impressionism art. So I really love France for that. Versus Renaissance, which just, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just, my favorite is more of the French art. So I guess it just culturally, that's what I'm going to go for, because I like that type of art. So I like that art scene.
This is a long-winded answer for you to say that Paris has Walt Disney World and Italy does not.
That's what?
I'm reading
there is a Disneyland Paris that I've never been to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to.
No.
Yeah.
But I think you also have you have Mont Saint-Michel, you have the D-Day beaches, you have Paris.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You have a lot of people do come to France for the wine regions. I know that's drink, but it is an activity to go for tours.
No.
Okay, there's Lyon, which has a lot of Gallo-Roman artifacts, as well as it's known for its food. You have the south of France for its beaches. So, yes.
Whoa, hold on.
Cultural,
You are saying food, then you said wine, then you said beaches.
We traveled to Italy for food and wine. That is a reason to culturally, that's part of the culture. So that's a reason to visit. You were talking about the canals of Venice.
Is this just a catch-all category?
No, I think that there's more than meets the eye with France, and I really like those things more, I suppose. So I would rather visit France more than Italy. But again, this is all very subjective.
We already established at the top of the episode that it was not.
But
that's fair.
Yeah. So I think that both countries are fantastic. And honestly, when it comes to choosing between the two, it is based on your preferences.
It is.
It is.
I've been keeping score here. Mm-hmm. We had 2 categories that we both agreed that Italy was superior. Mm-hmm. Those were food and beaches. Yeah. We had 2 categories where we said that France was superior: geography / natural beauty and cities.
Okay.
And then we had 2 categories where we tied: drinks and cultural attractions. So
we're split even.
We are split even, but I have something up my sleeve here.
Oh, boy.
So just to recap, if you are looking to travel for food or beaches, we both recommend Italy.
Yeah.
If you're looking to travel for geography, natural beauty, or cities, we both recommend France. We are split on drinks and cultural attractions, but were you on either drinks or cultural attractions, were you close? Or were you like, oh, drinks, France?
No, I mean, I think, again, I said all of these categories are tough. They both have great things to offer. You had great points about Italy's cultural attractions. Obviously, that makes it a popular country to visit.
Sure.
Same with France, their cultural attractions and their beverages, just like Italy, their beverages.
Okay. What about a someone who's never been to Europe before, and they're like, you know what? I want to go to Europe. I'm only going to visit one country, and I'll see if I am interested enough in Europe to go back.
Oh, gosh.
Would you recommend Italy or France? Maybe this is the only time that this person is ever going to go to Europe.
I was going to say, because if they're like, if I like it, I'll go back. I'm like, but each country is so different from the other.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
agree.
like they're all very different.
But let's say that they have only one trip ever to Europe. They have to pick Italy or France. And they're like, I need to know where to go.
France. But I think it depends, again, what they're looking for.
It does.
Yeah.
I would say Italy, just because from like the food, and I think the cultural experiences or cultural attractions are close. I was actually going to say you could convince me that France is superior in the drinks category.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one was really, really close for me. But, I mean, we're going to have to come to a conclusion here.
I almost feel like when I go to France in September, since I'm no longer going this week, I almost want to buy some French products to ship home if I have time to do that.
I wouldn't complain.
Or like get a box and like, I don't know, I'm renting a car, so I guess I could get a box and check it at the airport.
Yeah.
And buy some of the syrups and like different things that I think you would really enjoy, because I think you would enjoy a lot of these French products. We'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my conclusion going down my list, I had Italy edging out France 4-2.
Okay.
What did you have?
Oh, France.
France edging out Italy 4-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I only had Italy for food and beaches.
And I had France for geography / natural beauty and for cities. And I had Italy for the remainder.
Yeah. So even we're divided. We're a house divided about it. So again, that just shows you that is, I think it depends on what you're traveling for.
Travel for cacio e pepe.
Travel for Pinot Noir.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so that is our episode all about Italy versus France, which to travel to. What are your thoughts? Where would you guys place both of these countries in the categories? You can always reach out to us on Twitter at WWHoneymoon, Instagram at Worldwide Honeymoon, or email cat@worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.